It's another beautiful day here in Madrid. Today I would like to talk about my favorite camera, just after the intro. What's up guys, Dan Furlani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, if not just that. Hit the like button. Okay, so why is the Canon EOS R right now my favorite camera? I think I should start from the beginning. When I got my first camera, the Canon M50, which is awesome, it was great. I was able to make pretty good videos for my YouTube channel and take pretty good photos. Good enough for family and traveling and so on. But since I started to work professionally, I found the Canon M50 a little bit limiting for both photos and videos. So that's when I got my Canon 90D and it was just great. I mean, it still is. It's a great camera. I still love it and I use it a lot, as you noticed in my channel. Like, I always use it to make my videos and I use it professionally too, depending on what I have to do, you know. So Canon 90D, really good, but using it I found a few limitations. I mean, for what I do, for what I have to do and my personal taste. That when it comes to color grading, for example, with the Canon 90D I don't have much flexibility, like the highlights and the shadows, and that's the dynamic range. And also I noticed that even though I can make it look good, yeah, you can make a footage shot with the Canon 90D look really good, but still you have to go with it. What do I mean? It means that yes, on one side you can make it look really good, you have quite a bit flexibility in terms of color grading, pushing the colors, but you can push the colors of the Canon 90D just this much. Meaning that when you work it in post, it's very easy to find yourself overdoing it and the colors start to look weird, really unnatural. So you have to limit the color grading till a certain point. But still, don't get me wrong, you can make it look cinematic, you can make it look beautiful, absolutely. But I want to be able to color grade my footage the way I want, and in many different ways. I asked for advice. The first I asked advice to was Dan Mays. If you were to choose one camera,
I think the 1DX, the 1DX Mark II, the Canon is for me the greatest camera I've owned. Is the 1DX. It's just so versatile.
I had the chance to talk to him a lot. There's even a video where I interview him, like check it out. I put a card here, I guess. And we talk about pretty much everything, but when it comes to camera, his favorite is the 1DX Mark II. I agree, yeah, it's a great camera, but way too expensive for my pockets. Then I asked Mehdi Apoya, and that was in 2020, last year. And he told me,
okay, Dan's asking, if you had to use one camera, what would it be? For me, it would be the EOS R and 15 to 35 right now.
I listened to him for a half because I got the Canon EOS R and I didn't get the 15 to 35 millimeters. For now, I couldn't get it and I can't yet. I'm saving up. I'm gonna get it soon, hopefully. But as soon as I bought the Canon EOS R, all my doubts were like, dissolved. Why? Because even though in the beginning I struggled a little bit, I wasn't used to that kind of footage, you know, the kind of results using C-Log. At first I would mess it up and make it look like crap, literally. Even overdoing it with the sharpness and mixing the colors wrong and so on. But I mean, that's how we learn, making mistakes, and I make a lot of mistakes. Well, end of story. What I don't like, well, first of all, the specs. You know, if you read the specs, you just take this camera and throw it in the trash. It's as simple as that. Because these specs in 2021 or even in 2020, like last year, are not impressive at all. Like, when you shoot in 4K, it crops a lot, like 1.7 I believe. When you shoot slow motion, it's in 720p. Come on. At first I thought, well, okay, I'm not gonna use 720p for slow motion. I'm just gonna shoot 1080, 60 frames per second and slow it down in post. And it was good, yeah. But then I kept using it and I've been experimenting, and honestly, the 720p of the Canon EOS R is not bad at all. It's pretty good, believe me. I mean, check out my videos and tell me what you think about it. And also, you see all my videos are like in 4K, but maybe there are just a few pieces in 4K in the video, because 90% or sometimes 100% of the video was shot in 1080 and then upscaled to 4K in post. This thing about the specs, the performance of the camera just doesn't match the specs. It looks much better than it actually should, according to the specs. So, what do I not like about this camera? Maybe one thing, that I have many EFS lenses, because that's what I've been using with the Canon M50, the Canon 90D, a lot for my videos and for my photos and everything. When you use an EFS lens that's meant for crop sensor cameras on the Canon EOS R, well, you can't shoot slow motion because the options of 120 and even 60 frames per second are disabled. So for me, that's a bummer, because I love shooting B-rolls and I like to do it in slow motion most of the time. So I found myself either using always the same lens, RF, or the 50mm, the nifty 50, because when you use EF lenses, yes, you can shoot 60 and 120 frames per second, but if I want a wider shot, like with the 10 to 18mm, I just can't. I will eventually have to buy the 15 to 35mm, which is really expensive. Or I could buy the EF 16 to 35mm, and that's gonna be a lot cheaper, and I would be able to use it on my 3 cameras. So I don't know, but the RF version, the 15 to 35mm, is also stabilized, in the f2.8 stabilized. So I don't know what to do, just pondering, considering, doing a lot of thinking. But good thing about EFS lenses is that, yes, you see it cropped, the image is cropped to 1.6, and like EF lenses or RF lenses, when you shoot in 4K, you don't get any additional crop. So that's pretty good. I'm able to use the 10 to 18mm even in 4K with no additional crop. So what you see when I shoot with the EOS R and the 10 to 18mm is exactly the same field of view I get from the Canon 90D and the Canon M50 using the same lens. And another thing that I don't like about the Canon EOS R is the fact that when you shoot in 120 frames per second, you lose the autofocus and the stabilization, which is disappointing. You have to make things do, because if the subject is moving like towards the camera, either you move the camera and follow the subject trying to keep it in focus, or it would just be out of focus. Let's talk about what I love about the Canon EOS R now. I like the quality of the colors, because, you know, I don't know about the default picture profiles because I don't use them. I find them very limiting in any camera. So I shoot a C-Log. I don't know if it's just the C-Log or the color science behind the Canon EOS R and everything, but I forgot to say, hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already, and check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things, my gear. And check the link to Epidemic Sound, and if you click there and you check it out, you can get 1 month of awesome music for 1 month for free. Check it out. So again, what I love about the colors, I like to play around with them. I like to make experiments to get different color gradings, like different moods and styles. That's something I can't do with any other camera. I mean, with any of my other cameras, the Canon M50 and the Canon 90D. If you try to do that with those cameras, the colors would fall apart pretty easily. But don't get me wrong, they're great cameras. So basically, in a few words, what I love about the Canon EOS R is the overall quality of the colors that I can produce with it. I mean, is the camera producing the colors? I just mess around with them and have a lot of fun. So I've been using this camera along with my other two, like professionally, and man, when I use it, I have to say, I really enjoy it, much more than my other two cameras. So, is this my favorite camera? If I have to choose between the 90D and the EOS R, or the M50 and the 90D and the EOS R, yeah. But would I like to get something better? I'm considering. I would like to try both the Canon EOS R6 and the Canon R5 and see what they're like when I use them. Because, you know, when you just watch a video and someone else shot it and someone else worked it in post and someone else colored it and everything, you know, I would like to do it like myself. The Canon R6 is supposed to be a low-light beast. I'm already impressed with the EOS R, but the reason why I might get the R6, would like it better than the EOS R, it's because of the slow motion. Because with the R6, there's the option to shoot 120 frames per second without losing the autofocus. That's huge for me. Why not the R5 then? Two reasons. One, price tag. It's so expensive for me. And also because of the files, you know, not because of the overheating thing, because of course, yeah, it depends how you shoot. If I shoot B-rolls, it doesn't matter what camera I use. I just don't stay 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes shooting 4K, 120 frames per second. No, I would never do that. I just shoot short clips and pieces and then put them together in post, you know. So that won't be a problem. That my issue is with the files. I don't have a very good, I mean, it's a very good computer, but it's a little bit old. So it works fine for the files of the M50, the 90D, the EOS R, but the files produced by the R5, I heard they're pretty heavy and very difficult to handle, you know, so I would need a very powerful computer. So as long as I don't have it, I have to make things do with what I have. Just let me know what you think. I would like your opinion. Should I upgrade to the Canon R6, or should I wait until I get a better computer and get the R5 or something else? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already. Let's wrap it up. I fell in love with this camera immediately. So I have to say thank you, Maddie Apoya, for the advice, because this really helped me for both my professional works and my YouTube channel. Everything is more enjoyable with this camera, even though I love also the Canon 90D a lot. My advice to you, it's a matter of personal preferences, because I was working fine already with my Canon 90D. I'm not saying the Canon M50 because that's a little bit limiting, you know. I started working like professionally with it, but as soon as I got the money, I got the Canon 90D, because, you know, it's much more legit for professional works, not the M50. The M50 is good for YouTube videos, family videos, vlogs and stuff, but don't use it professionally if you can avoid it. Or at least start with it and then upgrade as soon as you can to a better camera, like the 90D, for example. And by the way, I'm not gonna tell you in this video when and how I started to work professionally with photos and videos. That'll be too long to explain. I'm gonna need a full dedicated video to it. I'm gonna do that sometime soon. For me, for my taste, the EOS R is the way to go. If you can afford it, get the R6 or the R5 if you have a strong, reliable, modern, awesome computer. Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe if you ain't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. time. By the way, this is my outdoor studio, as I mentioned quite a few times. I love this place for making videos.